Hey guys, it's Kate, and I hope you're having a great day. I'm here with another watercolor technique tutorial, and this one is going to be covering wax and oil resist with your watercolor paintings. So I've got a couple of oil pastels here and a wax resist stick, and this one I actually got at Hobby Lobby. It comes in a pack of 4, and this one is $1.99 regular price. You can also get them pretty inexpensively on Amazon, and you can use candles, you can use crayons. However, these ones are nice because they're clear, so they won't leave any color on your paper or even white on your paper if you don't want that. These are just some little inexpensive ones from Creatology, which is a Michaels brand, and I've got just a couple of colors here to do some demonstrations. So today I'm working with my Marie's Masters watercolor palette, and I also have 1 sheet each of hot press and cold press paper. So let's start with the hot press paper, and I'm going to go to the wax resist side, and we're just going to make some marks here. Now I'm going to go lightly on this side and maybe make some circles and a couple little scribbles. And I'm pressing very lightly. On this side, I'm going to do a much firmer press. And you can see how you can really change up the texture depending on how hard you press. On this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press lightly here and just do a couple of marks. And then on this one, I'm going to press much more heavily. Okay. Now let's try that with our paint. I'm going to dip into a contrasting color. I'll grab the red for this. Right now I have cadmium red on my page, which is a really nice orange color. And this is going to be alizarin crimson. So I'm going to glaze right over this. And you can see how that wax just resists the paint. You can also see the difference in color where I pressed harder. It has much more coverage on this side when I spread the paint. And then we'll do the same thing here with the cold press paper. And so cold press paper has a rougher texture, so it's going to pick more of that wax up. And so you'll see that with the thicker lines here. Even on the place where I pressed very lightly, you'll see that it has just a little bit of a stronger mark than up here. So let's do the same thing on the oil resist side. And I'm going to grab my green and let's just do some little marks. Then I'm also going to grab my yellow and I'm going to press firmly, but you can see the color on both of those. So it's pretty opaque on both of those sticks, and it's going to be the same type of result. Let me get a little more paint and mix that in my tray. And we'll put on this other wash. And you can see the difference in the dark and light color. You can still see both, but that light really pops. And the paint just really does not cover it. Now, essentially, wax and oil sticks will perform the exact same way when it comes to basically repelling water or any type of water-based paint medium. And that's a lot of times why, like if you're painting your house or something like that, if you paint a water-based paint over an oil paint, a lot of times you really can't get that color out unless you put down a different type of heavy-duty primer, usually something for oil-based paint. And it's a similar thing here. So I'm going to do down here, and one example of how you might use a wax resist stick might be to create highlights in an ocean or body of water. And so I'll just kind of demonstrate some of that here. And I'm just going to make some little lines. And I'm going to alternate between heavy and light presses. Same thing down here. I'm also going to make some marks over here. So you can get an idea of what it would be like to have multiple coats on one piece of paper or on one area, and you can really build up your layers. So for this, I'm going to kind of make some grass, just like that. Maybe add a little bit of yellow in there, like that. And let's go in with some blue. I'm going to grab my Prussian blue from my palette, and it's a really nice, rich, dark blue. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more water and get this wet. So we're going to go over this wax resist first, and you can see that result right there. I'm going to push this into the frame a little bit and go over it. This one is the cold press paper. Now just keep in mind that if you use either of these techniques, it will always resist paint. It doesn't matter how many coats you put on it. So you'll just want to make sure that if you do use this technique, you're not going to want to paint over it again, because it will pretty much always bead up just like that. And so you can see here, I'm putting on a stripe right here at the bottom, and that just pops right out. And why don't I even add a second layer, maybe get some of this sap green and put that on top and let that blend into the blue. And you can see that just really pop out, and it's a really nice effect. And if you're working with mixed media and you're looking for different ways to add some different textures, it's a great way to do it. Just ignore that. I had a little line come off that paper there. So I'm going to come back to my alizarin crimson, and I'm going to add a coat right to this. And I colored in some circles, which you can see, and I also made a scribble mark there. So I'm going to let these dry, and I'll be right back, and I'm actually going to add another layer to this so you can see how you can build things up over time. Okay, I'm back with my dry pieces of paper, and I'm going to give you just a quick close-up so you can see how everything looks so far. So this is the hot press sheet, and you can see that it's a much smoother surface, and the wax resist, the wax crayons go down smoother, and so do the oil pastels. This one is cold press, and you can see stronger marks from the wax crayons and thicker lines, and that is really because the paper is just toothier and it picks up more color. And this is the orange background with the alizarin crimson over it. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple of other ways you can add some more layers and marks. So let's say I'm working on these oceans and I want to add another layer of blue and maybe some sort of medium highlight. So this is the white of the paper coming through. I'm going to make some more marks here and just kind of show you how you can build up your layers. And I'm just making some basic lines here, so it's not going to be like I really concentrated on making some highlights, but I just want to give you an idea of how you can layer. So I'm going to grab some more of that Prussian blue, the same color I've got down here, and I'm going to paint half of this so you can see some of that difference that you can get with multiple layers. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So you can see the wax that I put over the previously painted square is letting that medium blue come through, and you can still see the white from the very bottom layer. And that's where you can really start building things up. Same thing over here. I could do like maybe a contrasting color or something like that. So let me just add some more marks. And let's try some different things. And I'm just going a little bit heavy with my crayon. And let's try adding some blue over there to one side. So I've got my blue, and I'm going to come in here, and you can see that beautiful pattern coming through. Now, what if I wanted to lighten up a little bit? Like, let's say I want to grab some of my lemon yellow. I'm going to just mix that on my palette a bit and come in and apply that. And now you can see I've got some yellow, which I had a little bit of blue left in my brush still, so it's slightly green, but the main idea is still there. If I give you the close-up, you can see I've got that light orange from the back, and I've got that red coming through, and then I've got that yellow coming over the top. So that's just with 3 layers, and you can get some really, really interesting effects. There's the close-up with the other layer of the blue that darkens things up, and you can see that medium blue in there kind of peeking out along with the white. Same thing over here. So I really encourage you to have fun with wax and oil resist depending on what you're going for with your paintings and artwork. And I hope this might give you some ideas on ways you can use it in your own projects. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep creating.